Hi, Mr. Faisal. We are the Mystic Group, and I am the group leader, Yatmin Ling. So we will be presenting the HIV replication our team has developed. So this is the Eclipse IDE, and to run file. So this web application is using Google Web Toolkit with GWT to develop. So it includes Java language and the normal web programming language, which is HTML and CSS.
Hello, I'm Nur Kalisa and I'm the lead designer for this project. As you can see, our website consists of color theme of red, white, and gray. The color red we use is to commemorate the subject of our website, which identifies as the color symbol for HIV/AIDS. Then the color gray used for the background is carefully chosen to reduce eye strains. Furthermore, we are able to pull off a suitable contrast between the wordings and the background so as to still maintain the readability. Next, in this homepage is where the definition of HIV and AIDS contains. Then as you scroll down, at the bottom right of the page, you can see a button. Once a user clicks that button, it will lead the user back to the top. Then the About page contains the information of the team, such as the team logo and the name of the team and the team's roles and responsibilities. For the symptom page, it lists the symptoms of HIV in different stages of HIV. Next, the transmission page contains contains how HIV can be transmitted from one person to another. The prevention contains the method you can take to prevent infection from HIV. The statistics page contains the overview statistics of HIV in Malaysia. Last but not least, the Get Tested page contains information and searching information. Shows the hospitals that the user can search for to get tested. So this is how it would look like in a mobile view. This is the Get Tested page. This is the home page, About page, Symptoms page, Transmission page, Prevention page, Statistic page, and last but not least, Get Tested page.
So now I will demo the key features of our web app. First of all, we are at statistic page now. The first data set shows the new infection of HIV and the death from HIV and the total number of people living with HIV. So, and when you point to the dot on the line chart, you can view the data as well. The data can be filtered by year. Next is the HIV prevalency by population. When you point on the bar chart, you can view the data also, and this chart is also filtered by year. Last but not least, the third chart shows HIV cases by gender, ethnicity, and state. You can select which category you want to view from the drop-down list. And when you point on the pie chart, it will show the data as well. Last but not least, we have the data set showing HIV expenditure on prevention and treatment, which also can be filtered by year. And when you point to the bar, it can show the data as well. Let's move on to the Get Tested page, where we can see a Google map here that shows the hospital or clinics that offer HIV testing. So when you click on the red pin, you can view the details of the clinic, and then when you search on the search bar, and then when you press enter, it will shows the location. And then when you drag the person icon here to the location, you can view it in street view, and then you can zoom in, zoom out.
So I will continue to explain the code responsible for data visualization. So this is the chart superclass, which has mainly three abstract methods, which initialize handles the API calling to the Google Visualization Chart API, and the draw function handles the code implementation that is responsible for the data that's being displayed on the chart. And the format data string is responsible for handling the code implementation for when the raw JSON data string is retrieved. It will be passed into this function as parameter, and then inside this function, it will format this data string and store it into another variable to be accessed in the chart. So for example, this is the line chart code implementation for the line chart. So it will first request the data, and it requests data to this given URL. So once the request data is called and the data is retrieved, it will trigger the format data string function, and then it will format the data accordingly. So this information will be stored into an array list. So once that is done, it will initialize the chart, which is calling the Google Visualization API. And once the API is called, it will draw the chart. So once the draw function is called, it will assess the information that is being formatted earlier, and then it will be passed into the data table, and then it will be attached to the chart. So this is the filter, the date range filter, which is this one here, and it controls the appearance of the chart as well in here. So another example is the Get Tested page, which when the user search for a clinic, see, and clicks enter, all this is being handled in here. So it will request the data from the given URL as well, and then it will format the data string and then store it inside the array list, and then it will initialize by calling the API and then call the draw function. So in the draw function, it will input the previously formatted data and then input into the data table and then attach it to the chart. So inside here, you can see that the search box is attached with event listener. So once the user search for a clinic or hospital name, the search function will be triggered, and then it will search through the list of hospital and clinic name to that matches the user's input. So if the user's input there's a match, it will display it like that. So however, if let's say the user randomly search, it will display an error message showing that it is unable to locate the specified clinic or hospital.
Hi, I'm Eng Chi, and I'm the backend programmer for this project. I'm going to show how to retrieve the data from the cloud using a public link. By setting the data as a public link, we have to upload the static HIV file from the local disk into the cloud, Google Cloud here. And by default, it is not public. So we have to set it, edit the permission, make sure the entity is public before we click Save button. And under the public access column, we have to copy the URL. This is the public URL that we are going to paste it into our code here. This is one of the classes that required to retrieve the data from the link. So we paste the link here, and we pass in the link into a function. This is the function that can be found in a file reader. So this is the function that I mentioned earlier, and this is the URL link that I passed in. So inside the function, we have to create the request builder object. Inside the request builder, we have to set parameter, which is the HTTP method of GET, and also the encode URL link. So once the request is ready, the builder will send the request to the server, and the new request callback will handle the errors and also the response from the server. So if the request cannot connect to the server, it will display the error message here. Otherwise, it will check with the status code of the response to make sure that it is 200. If we found that the status code is 200, means that it is successfully retrieving the data, so we can get the data and pass it into this function. The function format data string is an abstract currently, so the other class will have to override this function to format the data. If the status code is not 200, it will display the error message in the console log. That's what I shown here. By now, I'm completing my coding part, and I'm going to present on the features and the constraint for the Google Cloud. So the features, as what I shown earlier, we can upload the file from the local disk, and we can also control the permission by setting it to public or private. For the constraint part, since this project we were using some Google services such as Google Map and also the Google storage here, so we will have to need to access to the Google services. But there is some data usage limitation in the Google Cloud platform, for which after we exceeding this limit, we have to pay for it. But luckily, our project doesn't consume much data, so we were able to complete this project with the free of charge of accessing the Google Cloud platform. So this is, yeah, that's all for me now. Thank you.